Hello, true believers. Over here we have the update on the PNP versus PDEA Misencounter in Quezon City back in February. Now, this investigation was done by the NBI after 6 months, and this was about the buy bust operation where both agencies were supposedly buying drugs. They're both pointing at each other that we're buying, we're busting you, and the other one says no, forget about the buying, we're just gonna bust you, and then that's where it turned into a shootout. So let's go to the video and I'll do my commentary on it while the video is going, and my analysis on it. So here's the video.
Matapos ang mahigit 6 na buwang investigasyon, nagsampa na ng mga kasong kriminal at administratibo ang NBI kahapon sa DOJ laban sa ilang tauhan ng QCPD.
So after 6 months of investigation, the NBI filed charges with the Department of Justice against the Philippine National Police and the Philippine Drug Enforcement Agency. So it's over here, Quezon City Misencounter, the ilang police, the number of police and PDEA agents filed cases on the shootout.
PDEA, February 24 nang mangyari ang sinasabing misencounter sa pagitan ng dalawang grupo sa Commonwealth, Quezon City na
So February is saying when it happened in Quezon City.
Namatay ng dalawang pulis.
He said 2 police died and 1 PDEA died, 1 police died, 1 PDEA drug enforcement agent died, and the Philippines PDEA Drug Enforcement Agency asset died.
Isang PDEA agent at isang informant. Homicide ang inihaing kaso sa PDEA agents na sina Key.
So homicide is the charges filed against these PDEA agents. So here we go.
Jello Santinianan, Jeffrey Bagidodol, Romeo Asuncion at pulis na si Corporal Alvin Borja at dalawang iba pa. Ang PDEA agent na si Jello Santinianan, police officers na sina
Now these ones on the other hand are charged with attempted homicide. So there's a lot of them, as you can see. You can see their names over here. So the first set of names were homicide. These ones are attempted homicide on the PDEA agent side.
Lieutenant Ronnie Ereno, Corporal Alvin Borja, Corporal Marlon Masiklat, Corporal Ronilo Prepose, Corporal Jason Coranes, Corporal Aris Kurit, Corporal Marco Tapanan at Corporal James Dasalya ay nahaharap naman sa kasong attempted homicide. Direct assault with physical injuries, direct assault with less serious physical injuries, and direct assault naman laban kay Police Major Sandy Caparoso, Police Corporal Paul Gandesa, Police Lieutenant Hani.
So these ones on the police side now, on the PNP side, are charged with assault and physical injuries and direct assault with lesser physical injuries. So the police while they were arresting them, were beating up the PDEA agents. The police versus police.
Pesas at iba pa. Kasong administratibo naman na falsification of public document ang inihain kay PDEA agent Jeffrey Bagidudol. Robbery naman ang kaso ni na police major.
Now this one's interesting. Falsification of official documents by the PDEA agent. Now I'm wondering which documents do they falsify? Because this pretty much means that they can justify or document anything that they do that they probably did illegally, but they can say, oh, here you go, we have a search warrant, or over here we have a operations warrant, or something an official document. So I'm wondering what it is that they falsified. I mean, as you can see, the police over here, in my case, falsified all their documents. They're accusing me of rape, which wasn't even close. But anyway, as you can see, that it's not an isolated incident. It's something that the police, the Philippine, even the Drug Enforcement Agency, were falsifying documents. So you can see that's a normal thing to do here in the Philippines. And then over here, robbery by the police, and then here, a robbery. And this one's kind of what is it that they robbed? How did they? So the police robbed the PDEA agents, and and what is it that they robbed them from? I mean, I could clearly see that even their flip flops, if they like them that much, if you have nicer flip flops than the police over here, they'll rob you for that also, and they'll just take it. So probably while they had him arrested, they figured, oh, okay, it's time to go on a shopping spree. That whoever we arrest, we could just take whatever it is that they have on them, whatever they must have something, some personal valuables on them, jewelry, money, in my case, credit cards, it's theirs now that they'll use. So they filed robbery cases, cell phones. So everything that they have that's valuable that you have is going to be stolen by the police. So over here, robbery. So that's something you have to keep in mind when you get arrested, that everything that you have that they'll steal, even against other police. So that's one interesting aspect of this was robbery. So, okay, so now that the police arrested, they after the shootout, to add insult to the injury, they're gonna beat him up and they're gonna rob them also. And and the question is, what where they know that it's against the law to rob anybody, and now especially against the law to rob another police agent. Now that's your Western mind thinking that, but here in the Philippines, you can't be thinking with a Western mind. You got to be thinking like a local. It says, okay, I need this person has cell phones, money, which is stuff that I need. So that's normally what we that they'll do with the people that they arrest. So they went ahead and robbed him. So as you can see here in black and white, robbery, same thing that the police did to me. So that's something you have to keep in mind when you come here to the Philippines, that the people that not only are regular criminals that are going to be stealing from you, but the real criminals that are going to be stealing from you are the police. So if you have anything valuable, of course you do, be keep in mind that the police are going to be one of the one of the groups that are going to the possibility of them stealing from you, because as you could see, they'll rob from anybody, even in the other police agents.
Sandy Caparoso, Police Corporal Paul Gandesa, Police Lieutenant Hani Besas at marami pang iba, habang conniving or consenting to.
And this is a major media public event. So you would think that in their minds that, like, okay, this is not a situation where I would be caught doing robbery, because it's going to end up like this. Okay, but that's, or you have to keep in mind, because of the culture, they don't think about that, because that's something in the future. I need this phone now. I need their money now. I need their nice flip flops now, or whatever it is that they have on them that after I arrested them, I could do it now. Never mind tomorrow, never mind 6 months from now. That's the last thing on their minds when they're doing that arrest. 6 months from now, I could be filed an administrative case for robbery. So what? That's 6 months from now. I'm just thinking 6 minutes from now, I can have a nice watch. I can have some nice flip flops. So that's everyone here, especially as you can see, even the police, something as important as their jobs, they could care less about. So just keep that in mind. So over here we have conniving or consenting to evasion against these other police. Now this, from what I saw in the other news updates, this conniving or consenting evasion, this is for using a prisoner as a police informant. There was this lady that she was supposedly had the money and that she was supposedly buying. She was a prisoner, and they're gonna be and they used her. So against these police major, police corporal, police lieutenant. So these are police lieutenant. So it looks like Sandy is a woman, I assume. Christopher, and then Honey. So I mean, I'm not sure if that's her real name, but that's how it is here in the Philippines. They'll use their nicknames. It could be possibly be a nickname, and they'll use it as their official name. So anyway, so another woman, and so they were managing her as their informant. So these are the handlers. These are the managers. Same thing in my case. In my human trafficking case, the police were actually the handlers and the managers, and I was lured, and they used the girls to lure me into the hotel, which is not the textbook human trafficking. So, like I said, the human trafficking, the textbook, that the standard human trafficking is I'm supposed to be the manager, I'm supposed to be the handler, and they're supposed to be the ones that I'm supposed to be enticing or offering the girls to them instead of the other way around. Now, you would think that that would make, for the Western minds, that would be logical, that would make sense, but here in the Philippines, as you can see, it doesn't have to make sense. So you could see here, here's an example of it. So they use a prisoner to make this buy bust operation. Let's continue.
Evasion ang ikinaso kina Police Major Sandy Caparoso, Police Corporal Christopher Alvarez, Police Lieutenant Hani Besas, at Police Lieutenant Ronnie Ereno. Ayon sa DOJ National Prosecution Service, batay sa reklamo ng NBI, kinuha nito ang magkabilang bersyon ng PNP at PDEA sa insidente. Kasama sa mga isinumiteng ebidensya ay sworn statement ng mga saksi, Digital Forensic Laboratory Report, SOCO Report, Ballistic Examination Results, Medical Legal Reports at iba pa. Ipinasa ang mga reklamo sa Special Cases Division para sila ang magtalaga ng panel of prosecutors. Samantala, tiniyak naman ng PDEA na makikipagtulungan sila sa legal process. Ayon kay PDEA Director General Wilkins Villanueva, itinuturing nila itong pagkakataon upang sagutin ng magkabilang panig ang mga aligasyon laban sa kanila. Hindi naman umano mahahadlangan ito ang kampanya ng pamahalaan laban sa iligal na droga at nananatiling matatag ang ugnayan ng PNP at PDEA para sugpuin ang kriminalidad sa bansa. Samantala, wala pang opisyal na pahayag ang
So he's saying over here, to summarize what he said, the PDEA is cooperating with the NBI, with the justice system, in terms of continuing our fight against the illegal activities here in the Philippines. We support their actions. So that's what the PDEA is saying. While the Philippine National Police, it looks like that they declined to comment here. No comment, or no comment yet.
PNP hinggil dito. Dantiamento UNTV, News and Rescue.
So to summarize what happened here, so criminal cases and administrative cases are going to be filed on both sides of the which naturally was going to happen, because as you can see, both agencies are corrupt: robbery, homicide, conniving, was it evasion, all corrupt practices, but all natural, all common practices, not in just one agency, but in both agencies, on several agencies, from several, from top to bottom. And you can't really say that, oh, these people were acting independently. No, here in the Philippines, there's a chain of command. I mean, you don't do anything without your superiors knowing about it, and that's how normal it is. You gotta hold those people responsible. So these people are going. So both sides are going to be filed criminal and administrative charges, as you could see. So and their normal protocols, normal standard operating procedures, to hell with it. We'll commit robbery, we'll commit homicide, we'll commit falsification of public documents, we'll commit murder, we'll commit homicide. So and for what? For that drug money, we're going to cut all these corners or violate all these procedures so they can do a buy bust, so they can get their hands on that product, and they're willing to not follow any normal procedures to prevent these kind of events from happening, to the point where they're murdering each other for it. that's the take home message over here. There is no right or wrong. There is no law that these people follow, as you can see. And this is not just an isolated incident. This is a whole platoon of two groups on both sides, just total disregard for the law, total disregard for procedure, and total anarchy done by the police. It's just this culture of impunity that we can break any law and we can do whatever the hell we want. And because drug money is a huge business over here. It's huge money here in the Philippines. So much money is to be made hand over fist when it comes to drugs over here. That's why these people are willing to break any law and commit any crime for it, all because of for the love of money. Both police agencies are willing to do that. And that's a scary part when it comes to what they're willing to do, how far they're willing to go, with disregard for their jobs, disregard for the law when it comes to money, especially that drug money. So the good news is that this became a media event. So people have to answer because the public doesn't want this to be swept under the rug. And the positive thing is the new current people in charge of the police seems to be it's the flavor of the season now to be cracking down on this type of corruption, so they can create, or so they can make this positive image when it comes to the police organization, for their own police organization. So that's the positive thing. I was worried that this thing would just be swept under the rug, nothing was going to happen. The fact that they actually made formal charges is good news, that there is going to be some accountability. But the problem is going to be, what about the hundreds, dozens, hundreds, maybe thousands of other cases like mine that don't get any coverage, that the police are, there's no pressure for the police to for their corrupt activities that they did, including with me. What's going to happen to it? Right now, I don't know. But at least when this case, four people died, two police, one PDEA informant. So at least there is some justice that's going to be that's that we're that's going to happen. And the maybe for the people that died, even though they were all in it, that they knew what they were doing, they knew that they were, that's why they have guns. So at least that they had a chance, that they were able to shoot back before they were killed. But what about the innocent people that don't have guns, that are not involved in this, just like me? Okay, if they're willing to do that to other police, uh, it's clearly obvious that they're willing to do that to you if you have nicer flip flops than them. And just like they robbed their other police agents, they'll do the same thing to you when it comes to money. So this is another example of that, of how dangerous it is over here in the Philippines, and how there's a lot of criminals over here in the Philippines, especially the police. So that's what you have to keep in mind when you come here to the Philippines. I The Luzon, Quezon City area is so corrupt. That's like ground zero Manila for police corruption. That if you're going to be spending a lot of time in Manila, those are the things you have to keep in mind. That avoiding the police at all cost. And it's getting in, as times get more desperate. Of course, they're gonna, as you can see, they're increasing their crime on me, on other police, as you could see. And eventually, like I said, if you live here long enough in Manila, eventually the odds are going to increase because of the increased desperation over here, that might include you also. So that's probably the take home message over here, that there are a lot of criminals here in the Philippines, and the biggest group of criminals over here, as you can see. are the legal criminals. Anyway, let me know what your thoughts, your comments. As you can see, the NBI themselves saying that these people committed crimes and they were filed formal charges for these crimes that they committed. Let me know what your thoughts are. Do you agree? Do you disagree? What do you think? We all know that the corruption here is rampant, and are you worried that something like this is happening, and are you worried that it's getting worse? Are you worried that you might become the victim of these kind of criminal police, these kind of criminal activities? As you could see, this is not me making it up. This, as you could see, the NBI themselves told them that these people are criminals and they should be filed cases against them. Anyway, that's the update on the PNP PDEA Misencounter. Let me know your thoughts. Those are my comments on it, and I'll see you guys in the next vlog. Like the late Stan Lee always says after his speeches, Excelsior. See you guys in the next vlog. This is Bev Tony.